Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and dabbing, maybe some microphone dabbing at the after party.
With DJ Airrick, Paige.
With just DJ Airrick. It's just me. They've left me alone today. I am all by myself, and I'm not joking, actually. I haven't heard back from Feige today, so I'm not sure what's happening with him. And most of the normal crew might be busy this weekend. It's Mother's Day here in the United States, so I guess a lot of people are busy. We'll see if anybody shows up. But it doesn't matter. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I haven't done a solo stream in forever. It feels like a really long time since I've done a solo stream over here. It'll be fine. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to give a shout out to a few people in the house. First of all, Team Airrick members, South Texas Shark. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you hanging out. Everybody else is chilling. We got Draw with Cameron, Space Fluff Heroes Journey. Jeffrey is here. Eric Patterson, Darth Zinn, Abdi, Dalton, Fetman, Godzilla Vlogs is here. Paige is in Hawaii with Ezra. Actually, Paige had some stuff happen. If he shows up, we'll get him to talk about it. But some stuff happened with Paige. We'll have to wait for him to get here to see if he wants to talk about it. Eric, have you watched 1,000-Year Blood War arc? No, I have not. I'm actually going back and watching everything, including the movies, before I watch anything recent, because I have not watched it in a really long time. So I wanted to go back and watch some of the older stuff to sort of get prepared for it. So here's the thing, though. A couple of house keeping things when it comes to the after party. We're thinking about moving it to Fridays. What do you guys think about that? What is the overall consensus if we were to move the show to Fridays? Is that good or bad? I don't want knee-jerk reactions. Good or bad Friday evenings? Is it good or bad? Let us know your thoughts in the comments here. I'm very curious what you guys think about that. But yeah, Friday, we're thinking Friday evenings for the summer, not like forever, but for the summertime, doing Friday evening streams. We'll see. Seems like a lot of people. Hero's Journey is the only one that's like, I can't do it. I work Fridays. Do you work Fridays like night, day? Hero's Journey, I have to know. Which one do you work? Is it all day Friday? Are you literally working 24 hours? I'm just curious. Anyway, we might do that because it seems like schedules are kind of getting a little muddied up, and it's really hard to have guests on Saturdays in the summertime because a lot of people do stuff, right? Go to the beach, whatever it is people do. I did not see the Northern Lights. No. Didn't see that. Did not see that. I work at night. So like I go to work. Literally, I'm getting ready for work at like 7:00 my time. So there we go. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today, whether people show up or not. I want to talk about X-Men 97. And I know you guys are super excited about it. It's been doing really well. I think the show is incredible. I think it's a masterpiece in animation. And I'm super excited for the finale. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to look at the most profitable movies of 2023. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to wait on that one until we get a few people. If some people are going to show up, we'll wait on that one. And there's an interview with Kevin Feige where he talks a little bit about stuff going on with Marvel. And there's just a few things there I want to go over. Let's see here. Is there anything else here? I have my bookmarks. I always bookmark stuff on Reddit and Twitter where I'm like, I want to talk about that stuff. So I think that'll be kind of fun. Is anybody watching Doctor Who? Is anybody here a fan of the new Doctor Who series? It just started this week. I'm wondering if anybody is watching that. We just watched it. I actually literally just watched it right before I went live. So I'm wondering if anybody else is checking that out. What did we think of it? What did we think of Doctor Who? Is it too campy? I know it's a little bit different than the previous seasons. So not totally sure how people feel about that overall. We have some fantastic forecasting as well. So gosh, there actually is a lot of stuff. I didn't think there was a lot to talk about. I was like, I don't know. There's not much to talk about today, but I guess there is a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's start out with something from Variety here, and this is about Marvel output in general. Let's see. We're gonna share this to the screen there. Actually, I'm gonna pull myself out of this. So sorry, I'm doing stuff behind the scenes. All right, here we go. This is one of the little tricks I found out with StreamYard. I didn't realize that you could actually, the windows actually adjust in the screen. If that makes any sense. Let's see. I think that works, right? Better, worse? Hold on, let me remove that and try it again. There we go. There we go. That's better. And all right. So this is news from Variety. Actually, move myself down here. And it's talking a little bit about the output of Marvel content. And I saw this the other day. I was going to make a video about it, but I'll be honest, like these little 3-minute, 4-minute videos, I'm not getting much enjoyment out of doing them. I'm curious, do you guys like, I know that YouTube is in a weird spot where you're either doing shorts or you're doing like 40-minute videos. Is there any love for like 10, 20-minute videos, or does that still exist on YouTube? Are people still watching 10 and 20-minute videos? I mean, I'm just curious because I know that everyone is into like these really short, almost micro dosing content because of like TikTok and stuff. I don't know if anybody's watching. I feel like it's either got to be super long or super short. I don't personally like, sitting down and recording a 3-minute video where I just repeat the news. I tried a while back. If you guys remember, I did something called the Daily Feed for about a month where I tried to do videos where I talked about multiple topics, but multiple topic videos don't work for my channel. At least they didn't. I know people like Boba has massive success with multiple topic videos, but Boba actually keeps everything sort of in the same book, sort of. They're like different chapters in the same book. Whereas for me, it's like I'm more talking about general news topics. And I don't know if people really like that anymore, like Philip DeFranco type stuff. I'm not totally sure. We'll see. Maybe I'll go back to it. Well, a 1 to 4 minute video is like I would just do a short if I were doing that. It's weird. I'm just thinking out loud. But since we are thinking out loud, we have a guest here. Omega has arrived with a dog.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I got Ruby here. Say hi to the people, Ruby. No, she just wants to bite me.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of random topics today, so I'm gonna put everything into a whirlwind.
Yeah, I just saw your message on Twitter. I was like, oh shoot, he probably sent me the link a while ago.
No, I didn't. I actually wasn't even sure if I was going to go live today. Yeah. That's why everything was sort of like delayed. We are selling our D&D table, and we're going to start doing so. This is something that matters. It has no bearing on YouTube whatsoever, but we have decided we made a custom D&D table that spins, It's like a table with a lazy Susan thing in the center of it where you can like set your like fight scenes and everything up and you can spin it so everybody can see everything. And we've been using that for a couple months now. But now we want another one. We want to make another one, like a different one with like different levels on it. So what we do is we go on Facebook Marketplace and we look for cheap tables, like office tables and things that people are selling for like $15.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just repurpose those. We like cut out and put roll pads and everything in them.
Like put extra drawers and other stuff in there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, but the thing is, we can't have 1 million tables at our house.
Oh,
so what we're doing is we're going to sell the one that we have now, like sell that on Marketplace, and then buy one and repurpose one for our next campaign before it comes in. Because apparently there's a big market for custom tables. So I didn't realize that, but apparently there is.
Oh yeah, there definitely is.
So
hey,
let's talk about some Marvel stuff. I'm very, very curious about this. Actually, before we do that, we got a member chat from South Texas.
Yeah, I just saw that.
All right, so how much does it cost to get into D&D? D&D is a very good, cheap entry level thing, especially with the internet. If you want to get started in D&D, you can do like Omega and buy the super expensive.
These are the only two books you really need. There's also
hold on. Let me like hold this up again. I'm gonna actually put you full screen so people can see it.
These are the only two books you actually.
So Dungeons Master Guide and Player's Handbook. Yep.
And of course, you can always get all the extra shit too.
Yeah. So D&D is fun because if you don't want to invest in those things, there's a thing called D&D Beyond, which is you can go sign up for free. You can roll your character in there. You can keep all your stats in there. Everything is in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, the basic stuff is free, but if you want to get a little extra stuff, you of course can get the Player's Handbook and the DM's Guide.
Yeah,
and then if you want once you're in, if you want even more stuff, want even more customization, then you have all the extra books. They give you extra classes, extra story, basically extra lore and things like that.
And if you're curious about like what a D&D session is like, I would suggest Critical Role.
Yeah, like Critical Role, Dimension 20. There's various other streamers out there, but Dimension 20 and Critical Role like the big two.
Yeah, you can go in and see like whether you'd want to DM a session, whether you'd want to play a session, however you want to do it. It's actually a lot of fun, and D&D is coming back pretty heavily right now, to be quite honest.
Especially Stranger Things kind of really put it in the forefront again.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Darth Bunyan? All right, so this is what it says about Marvel.
One second, keep going. I'm going to put this little girl back in her pen because she keeps biting it. She's a puppy, so she's teething, so everything's a cheat.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, she see my freaking hand is all sorts of welts. Be right back.
Okay. So we have this article from Variety where they're talking about the MCU. And a lot of people believe that the MCU is putting out too much content. And they need to slow down, which is kind of weird because we're not going to have any MCU stuff for at least another year. And so the fact that people are still saying that is a little strange. This year is going to be a very, very, very light year on Marvel content in general. And they moved Kraven. Cody, I know you're here, and I always rely on you as a community member here to correct me on this. But moving Kraven to December goes up against some heavy hitter movies. And it feels to me like they're dumping that movie. It feels to me like the Sonyverse is just dumping that movie. They have no faith in it whatsoever. And they're just trying to get rid of it. And I don't remember all of the movies it's up against. But putting Kraven out in Christmas time tells me that I believe they have no faith in that movie. The Kraven movie, they pushed it.
Well, Christmas isn't a horrible time to release a movie.
I want to see though. There's some stuff that comes out. Let's see, movies releasing Christmas 2024. I think there's some big movies coming out in December.
Yeah, first I was like, who's going to see a movie on Christmas? Like, no, like a lot of people go to see movies on Christmas.
Let's see. Lord of the Rings is coming out in December. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is coming out in December. So that's going to be a really tough month for a movie like Kraven that's already got an uphill battle. Craven's got to fight uphill with one arm tied behind his back to win.
And I don't think he can win with both his hands.
And Ragu says makes sense pushing it for December, but it's going up against Lord of the Rings and Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Laura here says that Craven should be in October.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Paigey has arrived.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to make it public, but after what you sent me yesterday, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it on here. So,
Oh, no, not you.
huh?
Oh, I fell over. After party postponed.
Yeah. I saw the picture. It was more than just falling over.
You can show the picture.
I don't want to get in trouble with you. That would definitely give me a hit. We can talk about it, but I don't want to show the picture.
Oh, I bitch slapped a glass lampshade and like it cut my hand up.
Yeah.
Didn't realize either. Like I hit my hand. I was like, oh, okay. And then I went outside, took my dog out for a bit, and then I looked down and my hand was just red, just completely covered in blood.
I actually think this is really what happened. You fell over from twerking too hard. And that's how you
Potentially. The only thing is, if that was the case, I think my inner hand, like my palm, would have been the one that was cut up, but it was the back. So, like, that's the only thing that goes against the twerk thing, potentially.
Yeah. So, we're talking about, like, the fact they moved Craven to December, putting it up against Lord of the Rings and Sonic 3 tells me that that movie's DOA. And I don't like saying that about movies. I like to wait till they come out, but sometimes you just you can look at the crystal ball and you can see the future. I don't see Craven doing well against those two movies in December. I just don't. I don't see
the only reason I could think that they'd move it there is if maybe like Venom ties into it in some way, shape, or form.
I don't know. Several people were saying that they didn't want it to go up against Deadpool and Wolverine, and I agree. That would have also been really bad for it. But I don't think there was a good spot for it. But I think putting it up against Lord of the Rings and Sonic 3 is also a bad decision. So I don't know. I don't think the movie's going to be great anyway. So it's not like
I don't have high hopes for it to begin with. So whatever.
But yeah, this tells me though that I feel like the studio doesn't have faith in it because they're just kind of throwing it out there instead of they could have waited till January. They could have been like, we're going to put it out January 2nd. You know what I mean? They could have waited. But
yeah, so it's kind of like they're going to put it up against these movies, the two big movies, and be like, oh, well, it didn't do so much because there were two juggernaut movies coming out during that time instead of having to stand on its own. It's like, yeah, no one's going to see this movie.
I mean, it could also be a thing where it has to come out in 2024.
Yeah, it could be that too.
So Michael here, Team Airrick member, thank you for the support, Michael. Does Sony make more money with having movies that bomb by way of some kind of tax write-off?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's possible that there is some sort of loophole there with it. I do know that part of the reason they do it is they are trying to monopolize, or I guess maximize the Spider-Man IP that they have because they have access to so many characters. But the reality is, I think they just don't care about it. You know what I mean? There's still, I feel like Sony is in the early 2000s mindset of superhero movies. Does that make sense to anybody? Like I feel like their superhero movies have gotten more complex over the years. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Sony's doesn't understand that, which is why the Spider-Man movies are so good because they have a lot of work that goes into making them. Whereas it feels like all the other movies, because I'll be honest, I think Venom was just they stumbled into a hit with that. I don't think that movie was like in a perfect world. You would have looked at that on paper and been like, yeah, this is not a hit. But it ended up, people liked it.
Yeah, surprisingly, people actually liked it, which I guess.
But that was also tied into the fact that there was actively a Spider-Man going on in the MCU that was still run by Sony, and there was constant teasers that,
that's true. That's why the second one didn't do nearly as good as the first one. So,
well, no, because they spoiled that Spider-Man was not in the movie, but there was just an end credit scene. It's like, oh, so I just don't even have to watch this movie then. Which I mean, so it doesn't matter.
As far as I know, Venom 3 is still coming out this year, unless they've changed something.
Didn't they just wrap filming or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I saw something where like there was like a green T-shirt or something, and it gave away who the villain's going to be.
Post-production though, that's going to be a very quick post-production if it just wrapped filming. So, but here's what they had to say. It goes, Disney is overhauling MCU output with a new mission to drop the number of Marvel movies at a most to 3 a year and the number of series to 2 a year. So you're not changing anything. I mean, that's almost the same cycle they've been having, like 3 movies and 2 major shows, sometimes 3 shows. So maybe they're cutting the shows by 1, but the movies 3 a year has been pretty standard for Marvel since like 2016. So I don't even know what that statement means. We're slowly going to decrease volume, and we're working hard on what that path is, says Bob Iger, adding that the movie has a couple of good films in 2025, and then we're heading on to more Avengers movies, which is extremely excited about. Overall, I feel great about the slate. It's something, as you know, I've committed to spending more and more time on. The team is one that I have tremendous confidence in, and the IP that we're mincing, including all sequels that we're doing, is second to none. So a couple of things here. Number one, that's kind of bullshit CEO talk to me. It sounds to me like it's the same thing we hear all the time about, oh, this is great, that's great, or whatever. I'm not doubting that these things are going to be fine. There's probably going to be some that are going to be standout. But him saying it doesn't really mean that much, honestly. Because remember what was it David Zaslav said The Flash was the best superhero movie he's ever seen? This is what CEOs say.
Oh my God, because I can't even find the words to describe that sort of just disconnected, just the word I'm looking for.
Out of touch?
Yes, I was going to try to find another word for out of touch, but that's essentially what I was trying to say. Just completely out of touch.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't really like Bob Iger.
Because they just see money. They only see money.
Yeah.
And they see they know just enough so they can at least sound like they know what they're talking about. And he probably hasn't seen any other superhero movie except for like maybe 5 out of within the past 10 years, just so he knows just so he can sound like he can know what he's talking about. And then when he says crap like this, and it's like, have you seen the other ones? And you can play the Flash this? Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and you look at their output, though, this is the same output they've had. Like, there's no change in this. I think what he should have said, what would make more sense, is that they're increasing time in the production process to make sure the movies are better. Like, that would have made more sense to me. Like, I've not had an issue with most of the movies because I'm a shill, so I've liked just about all of them. But
at least you're finally admitting it.
Oh my God.
That's
But,
the first stage, Eric.
But the people that do have complaints, some of those complaints could have been fixed with just a little bit of extra time in production.
Yeah. Well, the thing also with this is that it's more to remember, like, Bob Iger is not like the content guy. He's just the money guy. He's I need to make sure that this business is profitable and we're not, just chucking money into a fire. So, I mean, he's not the guy where you meant to, like, he's like the core of, oh, is this movie good or is this movie bad or is this a good idea to make a movie and stuff like that. It's just more like, well, this makes financial decision. That's why he was the guy that like bought Star Wars or whatever it was, or did buy Marvel, whatever it was.
And like, how much is this movie planned to make versus how much it actually?
Yeah, it's like he's the one that makes
it costs to make.
Yeah, like he's the one that decides to make those risks, and is like, well, but then if it's a success, then he's like lived off that for. Since, like, he's done nothing really that major since those acquisitions, which were what, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, and it's just I just instantly think of the gaming industry as a parallel because, of course, I don't know if any of y'all actually follow the gaming industry. Microsoft just recently closed like a lot of really good studios, and I'm just being reminded of when EA got rid of a bunch of studios, like back in like the early 2000s.
Apparently, EA is trying to put ads in AAA titles now too.
Man, if they do that to FIFA and Madden and all those other games, I don't care. Those games are trash anyway. You put that in Mass Effect 4.
Could you imagine you're playing a mission, right? You're playing a mission and you get to a cutscene and it's like you see a little like timer going and then all of a sudden an ad pops up in the middle of the
it's always been a thing. Like,
I'm uninstalling.
It was always funny because like in FIFA, if you played on Xbox, there'd be an advertisement for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because like they were like I can't remember what it was. They had the PlayStation like thing. And that'd be in the background while you're playing Xbox. I'd just be like, what the fuck?
And it's like Microsoft, they closed down the people who made Hi-Fi Rush, and that game won so many awards. That game was amazing, and they closed down the studio. And then they go on to say, oh, well, we wanted more smaller games that will give us a lot of prestige and awards. And the CEO of the company who made the company who made High Fireworks, was like, he showed all the awards that they won. It's like, this isn't enough for you assholes. Not these assholes, but he still said like, this isn't enough.
He should have said it. He just like, this is enough for you, asshole. Just say
and
it.
it's like, I see that, and I see what's going on with this whole with the whole Disney thing. And I was like, even just in the movie industry in general, I'm just like, I'm seeing a lot of parallels where they're just thinking so short term, dumping it. And if the company fails, so what? They're gonna fail upwards and get get a
because the
CEO position at another company.
Exactly. You put that was the head on the nail there. You hit that right on target.
Nail on the head.
They want to make just enough money.
Head on the nail.
For themselves.
Slapping the stick.
Yeah.
Pumping the dump, whatever it is. I don't know what the word is.
They just want to make enough money for themselves. Dump the company who, if it fails, if it works, great. If it doesn't, who cares? Jump out.
Look, CEOs that get fired, whether you get fired or you move by choice, you still end up with a severance package that is through the roof.
Yeah, I think
they totally fail upwards and do the same thing to another company and run that into the ground. Then they want to wonder, well, why is the economy so bad? Well, look at our business leaders. They're idiots. All their education, you're still fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I think the thing with it is that it's a lot of the time, like, and that example you probably gave is probably plays into it as well. It's just, I mean, especially now, like where the games industry is moving into like the subscription model with like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and everything like that.
Yeah.
If your game isn't like successful, where like it's, I'm not saying it has to be like number one of the year, but if it's not like ahead to the point where if you release a sequel, maybe that doesn't do as well, but that would still be profitable, then they're just not going to move on. And also everyone just wants to make a AAA game. Like, no, like you can't make like, what was that game? Oh, mate, what was that game that I played? Castle Crashers. Remember Castle Crashers?
I haven't played it myself. I think my nephews when they were young.
But like that game was massive. But it's like
it's
like a basic indie game, but it was massive. And like it cost like $5 on the Xbox store or something like that, and PlayStation store. I think it might have been like that. It was really cheap, I remember. But you probably don't get a game like that anymore.
No.
Yeah,
because they probably chuck it on the Game Pass, and then no one's paying for it. They're getting it for free.
Yeah, the Game Pass is failing too for both. They say that Game Pass is on both Microsoft and Sony. They're not working.
Well, things. The Game Pass works if the game is free, but it has DLC. So if the game is good, and then it's like, hey, well, it's only $10 to get this DLC. You got the game for free anyway. People will buy that DLC, and apparently they're actually getting decent numbers with that. But the thing is, I mean, like if you're chucking one of those like indie games on there, which there are a lot, they're not getting that $5 or $10, which helps them out, which gives them a sequel, which allows the studio to make something bigger.
Yeah, they'll probably get like just a flat rate from Microsoft, which probably isn't that much.
Yeah, it'll be like, like we'll give you X amount of $1,000.
Yeah, and if it's like a breakaway success, like say Vampire Survivors, then it's like they just missed out on all that money, because Vampire Survivors, they put it on Steam, and that game just completely blew up.
Yeah. So getting back to this though, there's no incentive for CEOs to be honest or truthful about any of this. I mean, the reality is they're going to be fine no matter what. They're one of the few people in companies that kind of wear like a bulletproof vest to everything. Like they like whether the company fails or succeeds, they're not going to be out anything.
Yeah,
because their contracts, they come into these with contracts that are ironclad, and so they're not going to be worried about.
Yeah, so they have no incentive of actually doing good. They just want to make enough for investors, and as long as they give the investors back in the return, who cares? Or if you don't, so what? Oh, did you look at what's his name? Elon Musk. The investors and shareholders of Tesla are looking at him like, why are we giving you a bonus?
Right.
We had to give how many freaking recalls?
Yeah.
For that super cyber truck. And you want a bonus, man? Get out of here.
So the next thing I want to talk about is something that Kevin Feige said. Now this has kind of been cycling a little bit as well, where they were talking about Marvel projects, and Kevin Feige had this to say. He said he's seeing the positive side of the MCU being on the back foot again. Now he's talking about going all the way back to Phase 1 when everybody doubted Marvel. Because after all, back in Phase 1, that's exactly where he began. It's nice to be able to rally behind one feature project this year. He's talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm much more comfortable being the underdog. I prefer being able to surprise and exceed expectations. So it does seem like last year, which has not been ideal, has set us up well for that. So
Get fucked underdog. Is he gonna stick up his ass? What's he talking about?
Wait. Say that again. Hold on.
he says, okay, it's nice to be able to rally behind feature projects this year. I prefer being able to surprise, or he goes, I'm much more comfortable being the underdog. I prefer being able to surprise and exceed.
Isn't it the biggest movie coming out this year?
I was about to say a word. It's
Outside of Dune, maybe, but Dune's like
Bro,
on a different thing, I guess.
You're
but
Disney. Underdog? Disney hasn't been an underdog since the 40s.
Well, I mean, he can't really win, right? If he says they're doing well, people will call him out for that too. So how does he respond?
Well, no, he could just take out the term and just goes, it's fine if people have lower expectations based off last year or something like that. But to say underdog is a load of arse.
Please.
Well, I think it's actually marketing. I think that's what it is. I think he's doing that because he's trying to make it seem like that people should come out and see.
What, like he's on the street panhandling? Oh, we need Fantastic
maybe,
Four budget, please.
Maybe. I don't know. I just know that terms like that usually are made to get press headlines, and that's exactly what this has done. It's actually made this article. It's actually hit the target of the article.
I'll say something ridiculous just to get people to pay attention.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we know sensational sells. I mean, that's what people click on. I've even talked about this before. Thumbnails and titles on YouTube are getting even more out of control because people only want to click on stuff that seems like it's, wilding out or something. So, I mean, for him to say underdog, I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that Marvel is still, like, look at X-Men 97. You know what I mean? Like things are great at the moment for them. The only real failure they have had, let's be fair, is the Marvels. That's the only one that did so bad that it was like undeniably.
Well, it's the biggest flop of all time now.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like that movie alone, countered with like DC's Flash movie, which both came out in the same year. It seems like those two movies did so overwhelmingly poor that there's this hyperbole around like the studio's ability to succeed. So like if you go around and you look on YouTube, you'll see like anytime people are talking about Marvel being shit, they're going to talk about the Marvels, even though that's one out of like 30 some projects. You know what I mean? So the term underdog, Paige, you're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense in context based on their success, but you're always being judged on the last thing you did. And the last thing they did was the Marvels. So I feel like that might be what they're addressing here. Would you say that they've been on top, Paige, like creatively in the last 4 or 5 movies?
Do you mean quality wise?
Yeah, like in your opinion. I'm not talking about sales.
Well, no, because I think that the hate for the Marvels was completely overblown. I don't think it's that great of a movie, but it's watchable. I didn't turn it off.
Yeah.
But like, what was the one before that?
It was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, that was good. And then Ant-Man, which was not very good.
Those were the 3 movies last year.
Yeah, so they were 1 for 3, and like what, 1 good, 1 mid, 1 bad. Like,
Yes.
I mean, if you're a studio, if those were your last 3 movies, you'd be like, 1 was really good, you'd probably say, and 1 was mid, and 1 was like not awful.
Here's the
bad.
thing, Hero's Journey. I think, and a lot of people think that the Marvels was much better than just watchable. Paige, it's not his thing. I get it, but a lot of people really love the movie. I love the movie. Honestly, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a very comic booky movie. I still believe that the failure of the Marvels was not just the quality of the movie, because if something flops on opening weekend, it's usually not due to the quality of the movie.
To be fair, I think Marvels was just a complete hodgepodge of like reasons for it, focusing on characters from TV shows that, sure, WandaVision was popular, but people might have forgotten that Monica Rambeau character, and then Miss Marvel, we know, wasn't this smash hit TV show. So you're having the campaign around them. Yeah. So, I mean,
it did really well on streaming. That's the thing, is that if something fails in the second weekend, it's usually due to quality. If it fails in the first weekend, it's due to marketing, promotion, things like that, and general audience interest in the project. The quality aspect of it only affects the second weekend, because you can't judge something's quality until it has gone out and
based
people
off
have seen it.
Based off the percentage drop off.
Yes.
So like usually when you see something drop 60 or 70%, it's because word of mouth got out there, or people aren't going to watch it a second time or whatever it might
and see,
be.
Dalton here says the Marvel's the only superhero movie that wholeheartedly speaks to me. A lot of people feel that way. I love the movie, but I also love the characters in the movie. But I think what Feige is saying, there is some validity to the fact that you have two characters from the TV side, and it was kind of an experiment for Marvel to say we're going to take two show characters like these two, Disney Plus properties.
Well, one was a complete side character who wasn't in all the episodes in WandaVision, and then one was the lead, but in like one of the lower performing shows for.
Which is why I think it was an experiment. I still believe that these were kind of experimental things. I think it was great because I saw all those shows. I love those characters. So to me, it was that perfect culmination of all of that. So,
but you know what? That's where you get to the other side of the argument. And I know it's hard for you. Like, I personally usually don't care, but I know you like look into it a lot. But like, if you love the movie, like, who cares about the box office?
I don't care about the box office.
Yeah, and the thing is that you're probably still going to see all those characters again in other things. So it's not like they're going to get thrown to the wayside because this movie didn't work. Because as I said, there was a multitude of reasons as to why it flopped. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't think if people were predicting it to flop, they didn't think it would flop to the extent it did. But that's just because of the ridiculous budgets nowadays.
Well, I mean, let's be fair here. People that say stuff is going to flop, they just say everything is going to flop because it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. You know what I mean?
Swap the term flop and underperform quite heavily.
Yes. Well, here's the way I judge it. You guys tell me, and I want you both, and even chat, you can chime in on this as well. For me, a movie that underperforms is one that doesn't reach the studio's goal target. Like if they say they want the movie to make 600 million and it makes 500
Eternals underperformed.
Right.
That's an example of underperforming.
A movie that doesn't make its budget back is a flop.
Yeah. So if you want to use the MCU example, Eternals underperformed, Marvel's flopped. Like that's like the complete difference there.
Financially, I want to make that very clear, you guys. I'm not talking about the quality of something. We've had conversations about this before. In detail, nuance, context, whatever, that there are movies that I love that do not perform well at the box office. There's probably movies that we have all loved that completely flopped at the box office, that underperformed at the box office, and went on to become cult classics. I can guarantee you there's people that feel that way. What is that?
The Fifth Element.
Yeah. So money doesn't mean anything except to the studios.
Yep.
That's the only thing that matters. And unless you are unless you're like a cheerleader for the studios, you shouldn't really give a fuck about whether or not a movie is good or bad based on how much money it makes, because that doesn't matter to you as a viewer. When I go to see a movie, I'll tell you how I felt about the movie. I'm not walking out counting the money that the CEOs made. That's a dumb way to view movies. Unless you want to attack films, unless you're just anti-art. And then I guess that's the case. But this leads us into my next topic. We're going to talk about the most profitable movies of 2023. So let me close this window here. I will bring the screen up, and I want you guys to guess. Let's see. Where did Omega go?
He's
he
flying.
He yeeted. All right, so we're going to go through. The first one's going to be a gimme because I want everybody to. It's not a tier list. This is an actual number list, and I have the amounts here. Let me actually pull that.
So it's a ranking list.
It is, but it's actually like legitimate. Like this is how much it made in profit. So let me go over here, and I will pull up these. There he is. He returned. What happened?
His phone was supposed to.
All right. We're going to do, these are going to be a little bit in detail, but the first one is not very interesting. So I'm going to go through that one quickly. But these are going to be the movies that made the most profit. Now, basically profit means after everything has been paid off, advertising, investors, all of that. This is how much money, raw money that these films made outside of everything else that they had to pay for or that they owed. Number 10, it's a 10 list, is Paw Patrol.
That was a movie.
Now, Paw Patrol had a budget of $30 million. It made $202 million at the box office, and that put it at a profit of $114 million after everything. Are we
You
surprised?
loved this movie, didn't you? I think, didn't you?
I didn't even
like
see
a-
this movie. I didn't even
Kids
see
movies
it.
tend to do very well.
I mean, it's a kids movie where you can probably like. It's probably the parents going, "Oh God, I can take a break."
Yeah,
Chuck
that
the
and
kids in
they-
there, but they'll just a bit like locked
that
to the
in certain
screen.
families they'll have like maybe 2 or 3 kids that all go see it. And that's
The-
just more.
I'll be honest.
ticket
I don't think I've ever
prices
even
to-
seen an episode of Paw Patrol.
Oh,
Yeah, that's because you're not
bullshit.
12. Yeah, that's because you're above the age of 5.
But I think the only concern for parents if they took their kids to a movie like Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, is this a ripoff of Power Rangers? I just realized it's a ripoff of Power Rangers anyway. Is a horror trailer coming on? Did you ever hear the story of like it was a kids movie, like something in the vein of this, and the trailer for It Chapter 2?
Oh yeah. I don't remember what that was, but I do remember that happening.
One of the It movies was played before, so you got this theater full of like 4 and 5-year-olds, and you got Pennywise,
A creepy
eating a
clown,
kid.
like doing stuff. Michael DeFonte, Team Airrick member, and a $2 super chat says, if you can give a like, it really helps the channel. I appreciate that, Michael. I need to be more, I guess, more present about.
Oh, I
reminding
just
people to do
like
that,
the
but
stream, so I might have to
like
fix
the
that.
stream, please. Thank you for the super chat. It really helps. All right, so any guesses on the next most profitable movie of last year? I'll give you guys.
Is it related to Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie?
No.
No similarities.
No.
Genre? Can we get a genre?
Action, thriller, space stuff.
Space stuff.
Yeah.
Actor? Can we get an actor?
I think if I say any of Vin Diesel.
I was gonna say it's Guardians, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Thriller?
Guardians of the
What
Galaxy.
the fuck are you talking about? Thriller? Guardians of
I
Thriller.
was trying to throw you off. So the budget on this film was $250 million, which is one of these like balloon budget movies that we've seen in the last few years. It made almost $900 million. I think it was like 850, but it actually made a profit of $124 million after everything.
Which is sort of crazy when it made that much and it only made that much profit when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like that's just where we are nowadays, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like again, the gaming industry is a very good parallel when it comes to very good comparison when it comes to these things.
Well, go ahead.
Square Enix was saying like I believe one of the Final Fantasies, I don't know if it was 16 or 7 Rebirth. They were saying they needed to sell like such and such million copies or else it's a failure. And it's like this game's amazing and it sold so many copies and yet it didn't reach just a obscene number.
I've been trying to figure out.
Really?
I'm trying to figure out where the budget goes. And the only thing I can mark it up to is the actors. The actors get paid more each time the movie.
No, a lot of actors
well,
have a lot of people on work. They have a lot of people working on these games, and it's a lot of it is just time that you have to.
How much more profit would they have made if they didn't have to pay so much per like cameo and everything? Because all of that comes out of the overall sales of the movie. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So
I mean, yeah, I don't know. And it's like it's not like it's got a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Like James Gunn is the sole writer and the sole director. So like, I'm not
that movie has a lot of visual effects. So in CGI ain't cheap.
I guess not. I mean, honestly, if we're talking about like a big budget movie for Marvel, one that spends money on VFX, this would be a franchise where I'm like, yeah, Guardians obviously is a lot of VFX. But then when you have something that's like a street level movie, why is that 200 million? Why is that $250 million? It just doesn't make any sense. All in the game said, what's the Superman budget? I don't know if they've released that or not for the new Superman movie.
You wouldn't know until they're done. Like that's the whole, it's the production budget. They can have like an estimated budget going into it, but like with a movie like that, it'd be very fluid. Like because things would get added in.
Okay, so what do we
budget.
think the budget would be for a movie like that for Superman?
Superman, like probably like median, probably like 175, I think.
So you think it's a pretty high budget then? A pretty big
I'd
one.
assume so, just because it's like base level, like they're gonna have to do everything for that movie.
Oh, I didn't know this. The budget was high because it shared its budget with the holiday special. I didn't realize that.
Really?
To be fair, the holiday special, like it's not necessarily like high.
I would say it's probably like somewhere around.
I think
10 to
the
20
cost probably
million.
comes from the fact they filmed in LA. That's probably where a lot of the costs came from.
Maybe. Anyway, all right.
If Superman is 250 million, that movie's fucked from the get go. I'm sorry.
Do you
that's
think, you would
that's
think so?
too
Like
much.
if it's that if it what do you think if it's 175 will it make its budget back? You think
Well,
so?
I think if it's 175, at least like they don't have to do this like crazy number to, be in a list like this.
You know what a lot of people are saying online is that if that Superman movie flops, that's it. Do you believe
No,
that?
I disagree with that. I think like the movie. I think, well, they'd be screwed regardless because they'd have like Peacemaker season 2 all done and probably other movies either done filming or halfway through filming. So
Yeah.
I think with this new DCU thing, if it doesn't work, you're probably still going to get it for 4 to 5 years
Okay.
coming out. Mainly because
And there's a high probability that one of those things will make money. It's
they
a
don't need
positive.
Superman. They obviously they definitely prefer Superman to do well. But then Batman Brave the Bold come out and make $1 billion, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're back on the horse. And then Supergirl comes out and it might be a bit of a lower budget, but not like it might be medium budget and stuff. And then that makes money. And then the TV shows are successful. Lands gets really good reviews. Peacemaker, and then Swamp Thing is like a horror niche sort of like smash hit or something like that. So yeah, they'd wait for the first 4, maybe 5 years to see where things are. If it's not working after that, we're never getting a connected universe ever again for DC. They're just going to do solo things. So just expect about 74 million Batman movies.
Yeah, I was going to say tons of Batman properties. All right, so the next movie is based on a video game. I'll make it a little bit easier for you guys. Next movie, most profitable movie of 2023 is based on a video game. Any thoughts?
Well, I know Mega was talking about Hentai University, but I don't think they made a movie on that one. Maybe they did. Maybe the game was based off a movie. I'm not too sure, but
Any
I'm
guesses?
going to assume. Well, I want to. Is it off a video game? I want to say it's Mario, but that made made heaps of money, so would it be higher?
So okay. Well, what do you think, Omega?
I was going to say Mario. I can't think of any other game movie that.
The only other one I can think of is that Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't
there
know.
you go.
Holy shit! Really?
Yep.
I guess
that
made a lot of money. It dropped off heaps, but it made a lot of money in its first weekend from memory.
Now, this movie cost $20 million to make,
and
it made a profit of $161 million for 5
it was relatively cheap for a movie budget. So, and it, of course, Five Nights at Freddy fans are insane.
I thought
like
this
furries.
Well, they're animatronics. They're like, but
I'm talking about the fans.
Okay, so
and many of them are.
Omega, give us like a quick backstory on what Five Nights at Freddy's is.
Well, Five Nights at Freddy's was like a really simple indie game where you were just security guard at like a, I don't know if anyone remembers like a Shoney's Pizza or a Showbiz Pizza.
Isn't it meant to be like a Chuck E. Cheese type?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese would have these weird animatronic type robots that sing and dance around, whatever. So, but the thing with these is that they'll actually start walk. These are kind of like independent, actual straight up robots that will just walk around and interact with kids. But at night, they will actually just start walk around on their own when they're not supposed to. And as a security guard, you're supposed to just keep an eye on it and make sure they don't, get out and kill you. So it's like you have like pretty much like this. You have your monitor set up. You have like your monitor set up here, and you have to go here to check this door, and then check this, check your cameras.
And you know what? I love the game when it was that. When it was that was fun because it
then it became weird. It got really weird, and that's pretty much the premise of the game. And the movie was more or less.
They took simple and effective and like just like went too crazy with it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
there's like this whole super lore behind it, which I'm not getting into.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, isn't like the killer like is he a pedophile or something? Like,
don't say that again. That will get the stream.
I honestly don't remember if that was the case. I got.
Oh, he just killed kids. It was one of.
No, it was like
you say PDF file if you're going to say it on YouTube.
PDF file.
Oh, sorry, I'm not down with the lingo. Sorry, I'm out of the loop. My bad.
Yeah. So McLeod says it's basically Horror Night at the Museum.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. But
not
instead of a museum, you're at like
a
show. You had to show this pizza.
Right. All right. So the next one on the list is I'm trying to give a hint that will not give it totally away. It's got music. It's big. It's a big music movie.
Is it a musical or just has music in it?
No, it's not a musical.
Sting.
Sting.
Isn't it like
Oh,
they released a new
The
Sting
Queen
movie?
movie?
No. This one's kind of a weird one because it started this whole trend, I think, of doing this, which is Taylor Swift.
Oh,
the Eras
God.
Oh
tour.
yeah, I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised.
Now this one's weird because they didn't really spend a lot on it. This was basically the budget for this. movie.
She
They
released
just
it.
they
She
just
did.
filmed her tour. That was it.
Yeah.
No, but it's also no studio wanted to buy it, so she released it independently. So she made all the money from it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it cost less
Good on
than
her.
$15 million to put this together because it really was sort of just a like.
I mean, it's
a
something that they would
production
just release on DVD, like back in the
Yeah.
day,
Mhm.
or it might be like
Now-
you could buy like a deluxe CD and it comes with DVD for this.
Speaking of that, she made $172 million off of this. Basically, her tour at a movie theater, which, to be fair, it helped movie theaters because this came out when the movie theaters were struggling with like films and stuff.
Didn't this come out at the
So-
same time as? Wasn't there another movie? Oh, it wasn't like some funny shit or something. There was another movie that came out the same weekend. There was like two cinemas next to each other, and all they could hear was Taylor Swift fans.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I remember that story, but I don't remember
what
what movie
movie
it was.
was it?
Anybody in the chat remember what it was? I don't totally remember what it was.
It says October 13th, so I'm trying to remember what was a movie that came out October 13th.
Yeah. I don't remember. What's up, Maestro? Let's see here. I can't find out what it was. I'd have to go digging.
Yeah,
for
I
it.
can't remember.
The one with Jennifer Lawrence. Is that what it was?
I don't know. It might have been Saw. Maybe Saw makes more sense.
I just
but
remember that
the-
like all the
horror.
Swifties were going crazy in the theaters because they were treating it like a concert.
Uh-huh.
And-
People were like,
and
"What are
then-
y'all doing?"
Yeah.
Like there's some people that treat the movie theater like a library. Once the movie
Mhm.
starts, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But that's not the
I'm
case.
one of those
when were
people.
going to, so anyway, so this was not too shocking. The next one on the list is it is a prequel film. Is the next one that made money. It's a prequel movie from last year.
Genre?
Semi-musical. It had musical numbers in it, but it wasn't necessarily a musical. I wouldn't say it was a musical.
Oh, I know what it is. Oh, the name's fucking escaping me. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, here it is. It is the Wonka movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this movie had a budget of 125 million, which was a little bit on the high end, I think, for a Wonka film. But Timothy Chalamet is pretty
That is
in
Paul
demand
Woody
right now.
Atreides to you.
Well, didn't you quote Hansel from Zoolander saying he's so hot right now?
Yeah, he's so high right now. That is true.
Oh, that was Will Ferrell's character, wasn't it?
It was.
What his name is Mufasa? What's his
So
name?
the movie had a $125 million budget. It ended up making $632 million in the box office for a profit of $182 million, which is actually not bad considering.
I haven't
Oh.
watched it. I
No.
still haven't watched it, so I don't
Yeah, I
know.
haven't
what
seen it
it's
either.
like.
Not the Gene Wilder. That's the only Wonka movie for me. Yes, I'm old. But anyway,
No,
Didn't
that's
it-
the goat. That's the
I
definitely
think
the one to
Paige
go
and I
with.
talked about it. I think we pretty much agreed that that was the best version of Wonka.
mhm. Even though it's still completely different from the book, but oh god, the book was so racist.
I was gonna say the book's like super racist, like Roald
Yeah.
Dahl's, and he's like,
Mhm.
Jordan
Jordan says, I work at a cinema. As a job requirement, we have to do cinema checks in every cinema. When the Eras tour was playing, I would check the cinema. Everyone would be standing and screaming.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine? Like, I wasn't seeing any movies when that was in theaters, but could you imagine you go in to see a movie and you're sitting on the wall adjacent to like where the Eras tour is playing, and it's just like, Taylor, we love you. Just like that kind of stuff screaming in the theater. Like, because they're treating it like an actual concert.
Mhm.
And I think Taylor Swift even said, I want you to go out and have fun and make it feel like you're at my concert. And it's
Oh,
like,
man.
no, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Now, with the Wonka movie, back to the Wonka movie, didn't it have like a actual live act? Like you could actually go in and walk in. It was like so. I think Glasgow, England.
Uh-huh.
No, that wasn't
the,
for this. Some just like dude
the
wanted to
Wonka
make a-
experience.
That
Yeah,
was
some
weird
dude-
because that's a rabbit hole of shit. Like that, you're talking
Oh
about
man,
the
yeah,
Wonka
the Wonka
experience.
experience.
So
yeah.
they used AI to promote it. So the inside of the building looked beautiful. It was like all these candies and all the like
Mhm.
this beautiful AI Wonka world that was made inside of a warehouse. And they showed up, and it's literally just cardboard cutouts of things.
Yeah, these poor
and-
like just drama kids and just drama students in these costumes.
well, the actor that played like the villain, I
The
think
unknown.
the unknown or whatever, went on like TikTok or
Yeah, she's
Instagram or
on
something.
TikTok. So like, yeah, I'm the actress who played. I'm the person who was in the unknown.
One of the
costume.
bartenders there that was serving like
Yeah.
the potions was like,
Mhm.
we were told to give kids like one jelly bean each or something like that because they had no chocolate. It was a Wonka experience and they had no chocolate
It
for
was
anybody.
so bootleg. Everyone
It's the
was
chocolate
complaining.
factory with no chocolate. It was the weirdest fucking thing. DJ Khaled.
Looked that up. It is it's a dumpster fire. A glorious dumpster fire.
All right, so again, that movie ended up making how much profit did that make? For anybody curious, 182 million. So now everything above this, we're starting to get into over $200 million profit. So we're getting into the heavy hitters. There's some pretty big ones here. So now we are halfway through the list. The next movie is based on a true story.
Is it Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that sounds about right. Oppenheimer.
I was going to say, was it Sound of Freedom? Your favorite movie of last year?
No,
It
that's
was
not.
Barbie.
That is not on this list because that was a scam movie.
Well, I know for someone that saw it 5 times in cinemas, you mustn't think it's that much of a scam.
Yeah,
Eric.
no, it definitely was. They were buying out theaters with fake tickets to like pocket the money. So Oppenheimer made a net profit of $202 million on a budget of $100 million. And the movie, keep in mind, we talked about like how unbelievable it is that this is all the profit the studio's made off of it after everything is paid back. This movie almost made $1 billion. It only had $100 million budget, but after actors and all this stuff was paid, the studio walks away with $202 million. But it almost made $1 billion. It was $980 million.
Wow, it's 200 something million. Is nothing to sneeze at, but still.
But it was
after,
$100
like,
million
almost
budget,
Yeah.
which means that 800 million was what it actually clocked out as once production budget was separated from. Like,
Well, Oppenheimer is one of those. I think it might be one of the only movies to not only be in the most top 10 most profitable. I guess it's top 5 most profitable based off the amount there, but also be one of the biggest bombs of the year as well.
I'm not going to even comment on that joke. But I will say this. I'm
not even
shocked.
a chuckle there. Not even.
Not a little bit. Not a little bit. Dad jokes all day. But I'm just a little shocked that the movie had 800 million in basically the clear after production, and only 200 of that ended up being
once you paid
pure profit.
everything off. Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. This is why I want this to be a reminder to everybody that when we have these pundits here on YouTube that talk about budget and profit and like, oh, it needs to make X amount before it can make money. We never know. You never know. Because if you were to look at this and go, oh, it cost 100 million. If you add in the next 100 million for advertising, that's 200 million, which means it actually made $700 million. No, it didn't actually make 700 million. Like you have to account for like all kinds of things.
Well, yeah, and even like
here
back
and
in the day, like before 2010, I guess, like you'd still have to wait until the aftermarket because a movie could make more in its DVD and stuff like that than it would in the box office.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I hate when people do that. You never know. This is why I'm glad they released this list, not because I necessarily give a fuck about like what the studio makes, but I think it's it's transparency so that people will know that, hey, it's not always as simple math as like, these guys make it out to be, which I think is really important. So the next movie on the list is animated. Any thoughts?
Hmm.
Any guesses? Chat, any guesses?
Spider-Verse.
Wait, what did you say?
It's the next movie is animated.
Spider-Verse.
Is it Mario?
So here we go with some of the chat. We give the chat a second. Spider-Verse,
Doji, Revenge of the Overfiend.
Turtles,
Oh,
Spider-Verse. That's what I'm saying. All right. Mario. Here we go. This was the next most profitable movie of 2023. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Did anybody see this movie? Did you guys see this movie?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Okay. I thought it was a fun movie. It, like, people talked about it being like a dumpster fire. It wasn't a dumpster fire. It was actually a pretty fun movie. And the art style was great. I love these
Honestly,
new art styles that aren't Pixar, to be honest.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a fan of the art style.
Well, in still shots, it doesn't look great. Like,
once it's actually
in
in
film,
motion,
it's
better.
actually pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, even still, I've seen it in motion from trailers and everything. I'm still not a huge fan of it. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or anything.
Right.
It's obviously very stylized. It just doesn't hit it for me.
This movie made a $205 million profit, and the budget was $70 million. I'm telling you, this is how crazy this is. We just talked about Oppenheimer. Remember, Oppenheimer was $100 million. It made $200 million profit on almost $1 billion. This movie cost $70 million. It only made, at the box office, people were calling it a flop. It only made $180 million at the box office.
Then how can it make 200 profit?
Because of aftermarket.
What, like just parents, I guess, buying for the kids? And
Buying
stuff
it
like
at home and stuff like that, because that's not considered part of the box office.
Streaming, streaming. And,
well, was this in? Did they do an
DVDs and
aftermarket
whatnot.
release? Because this would have had to be one of the top ones. Like I know Oppenheimer did really well in the aftermarket.
Well, the list that was released said this includes VOD sales and like purchases of like physical media. So 180 million at the box office with 205 million in profit means that this movie made a lot of money in the aftermarket when it left the theaters.
Aftermarket is like iTunes, Google Play.
But you got to think people were renting this movie for like $25 a pop.
Yeah. And yeah.
So
and,
what this tells me is family movies are heavily watched at home.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not chucked on a streamer.
Yes. So this
Who
might
made
change.
this? Paramount?
Yeah. Well, Nickelodeon, but Paramount's the parent company.
Okay.
So this tells me, and this should be I'm sure executives have already looked into this. This tells me that family films where you have multiple members in the family going to see a movie are opting to stay at home and spend money. Because this is the first one to me that was a massive like red flag. Like
does that
$205 million with $180 million in the box office?
Does it? I'm assuming this would also include toys because it usually does.
Oh, I didn't see for sure.
Yeah, so that actually, I just realized that actually might be a factor as well. Because I was going to say, there's no way it could have made that much in the after.
Either way, this is again why when people on YouTube say that, oh, it made this amount, so it was a flop, they don't know.
Yeah, it's like with like Transformers. Like Transformers, though that movie might not have done well, I'm sure they made a decent amount in toys where it brought it more to a break even, if not profit sort of area.
Yeah. So very weird. All right. Any guesses on the next film? We're gonna guess the next one, and then we get to the top two. I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to just guess the order of them because it'll pretty much be obvious.
What's the genre for the next one?
It is a superhero movie.
Oh, Spider-Verse.
You're Spider-Verse. That's a good guess too.
Okay. It is Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse. Again, animated stuff being in the top 5 most profitable movies of last year is crazy as fuck to me.
Yeah, because a lot of those
Multiple
animated movies
ones
are expensive.
So this movie cost $150 million to make. It made almost $700 million at the box office for a profit of $328 million. So they made $328 million off of this. I'm going to guess that a lot of that is aftermarket as well, even though it did good in theaters. I'm going to guess a lot of that is the
it'd be the same thing, like with the buying. Also, this is what Sony, so it wouldn't have gone to a streamer for a bit.
Yeah,
I think that deals with Netflix, isn't it? So it probably took a while for it to go to Netflix.
Most likely. But I'll be honest, this is one of those times where they tried to like astroturf this movie, and this movie is actually really fucking good. Both of the Spider-Verse movies are good, in my opinion. So there's that. So
And toys as well. This one had
toys. Toys. So here's the thing. We know, I think everybody kind of knows what the top two movies are.
It has to be Mario then Barbie.
Right.
So
I'm going to let you guess what order they're in terms of profit.
Because I'd like to think it's Mario in second, Barbie in first, just because Barbie made so much. The only thing that goes against it is that like they did a massive promo tour and stuff, which costs money.
Right. Okay. So you're saying Mario first, then Barbie? Is that what you're saying?
I would assume that. But the only thing that maybe thinks maybe Barbie might not get it is because they spent a lot on advertising.
Okay. So Barbie will be second, or Barbie will be first, Mario second for you because Barbie is the winner of the most profit. Would you say the same thing, Omega?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So this is a big reveal. The second most profitable movie of 2023 was.
Here it is. Yep.
The Barbie.
Wait, shit.
I assume so. Then it was like that mixture of maybe even the aftermarket for Mario.
But it wasn't. This wasn't a bad profit either. So the Barbie movie cost.
So it assumes.
Well, no. I mean, like it's a lot more than the one before it, is what I'm saying. So the budget for the Barbie movie was 145 million. It made 1.4 billion dollars, and 422 million of that was profit for Barbie.
Yeah, but I think like Margot Robbie got a lot of money. She got like, was it like 30 million as an actor, and then like got heaps as a producer and stuff.
Yeah, was it Feige in this movie? Feige was one of the kids.
I was going to be one of the kids that got cut because I flashed my mold.
So I will say though, only 420 some million on a 1.4 billion dollar like box office run.
You were calling this movie woke, Eric. I was really surprised that you
it absolutely is 100% woke. 100%. Super woke. Feminism, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I remember somebody was saying this is a Black Panther for white women.
I've never heard that. That's actually pretty funny though.
That's actually pretty accurate.
That's pretty funny. All right, so that takes us to the number one movie, which is the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'm gonna say that Paige, would you say that like the aftermarket toys and things probably played?
The toys. Have you seen some of the toys for this movie? They are like fully Mario, like proper, like they work toys and stuff like that. Like they release like Mario Karts, I think, for all the. I know it's hard because they are literally just the characters from the game. So they don't do anything to change them up. They're just the characters. But I saw this thing where it was like they released individual remote control like RC cars for all.
That's
like,
fun as fuck, actually.
And you can race them and stuff like that. And I think they're like, I saw
like real life Mario Kart, basically. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's like, look, I much prefer being a kid in like the 2000s and stuff because it was better. But that's like the one thing, like, fuck, that toy would have been mad.
So this movie cost 100 million to make. It made almost 1.4 billion. Same thing as Barbie. It's very close. It's like 1.37 something. But it made in total profit almost $600 million in profit. So, I mean, in case it wasn't already obvious, they're going to milk this franchise for everything it is. This is going to be, they're going to drain this out until they're not making anything else off of this anymore. I don't even know if that's possible because this movie was so good. If they just keep the same creative team involved with it, I can't imagine it's going to be a bad film. So whatever they do with it. But that list is not surprising to me. So to recap, we had Paw Patrol, Guardians of the Galaxy, Five Nights at Freddy's, Taylor Swift, Wonka, Oppenheimer, TMNT, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Barbie, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. Those are the 10 most profitable movies of 2023. So Darth Bunyan says studios learned the wrong from this success. Chris Pratt doesn't need to be in everything. LOL. Maybe. So
I mean, look, I like Chris Pratt, but geez, come on.
Daisy says the RC cars were here before. That's probably why they made so much. They already had everything. Oh, they had everything to build the merch already. It saves a lot of money.
I assume that was
Mario has
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, I guess, but it just looked
that
like
makes
they were
sense.
from But like I
Yeah.
saw them in the Kmart when I was walking through. I was like, oh my god, look at those things.
Will singer Taylor Swift be Marvel's Dazzler for MCU's Deadpool
You know
and
what?
Wolverine?
That's not a bad call there. I wouldn't say. I don't
You-
know
you-
how well Taylor Swift can act, but
I would assume she, like most singers, are like at least.
I mean, singing is
Passable
technically. I mean,
actors,
she
but-
doesn't
Yeah.
stay. That's
I don't think
acting.
she'll be terrible at
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's was extremely profitable. Made it into the top 10, midway through the top 10, really. So, I mean, you got to think I'll be honest, most horror movies make a lot of money. Even if they didn't make it in the top 10, the fact that Five Nights at Freddy's was a video game IP probably helped push it into that top 10.
yeah, and not to mention the game was a runaway success. So the movie,
Yeah.
if it's competent, then that was probably be a runaway success in itself too.
Yeah. This this is an easy one. Who was your favorite canary in the Arrowverse? Earth 2 Laurel. Very easy answer to that question. What about you, Paigey? Would you agree or disagree with that?
Mine is the alternate Earth where I think Felicity was a black canary.
Okay. Yeah, people would think that I like Sarah, but Sarah slowly fell off for me in the Legend show.
I like the
Actually, I just realized that was a clickbait video from you, wasn't it, Eric? That Felicity was black.
I like
Might
the
have
Black
just-
Canary from.
No, it was Ben.
Sorry.
No,
Thought
the
it was
Black
you.
Canary from Injustice 2 was pretty
Yeah.
cool. I liked her. I mean, I used Superman in those games, but whatever.
Look, I'm a massive Sarah fan, but in the last 3 or 4 seasons of Legends, she became less of a white canary. I mean, she was a great character, but she did, like, when she was in another show as White Canary, she did good. But I think on Legends, they stopped wearing their costumes. They weren't doing very much. I really think that Earth 2 Laurel became, for me, like the best version of what a canary would be on the shows. But that's just me. Philip says, glad Sound of Freedom isn't considered a scam movie. We talked about that. That movie, they were selling. So let me tell you why it was a scam. There's a lot of reasons why, but on the base level, you could go online and prepay for tickets for somebody else to claim and then go see the movie. And any ticket that remained prepaid that wasn't used would get rolled over into their digital release of the film, which didn't make any sense either. Didn't make any sense. So what was happening was they ended up paying for those, or using those tickets to like book theaters with no one going, so they could just get that money out of the bank, so it wasn't there. You know what I mean? So they just basically, it didn't matter to them. They already made the money. When somebody prepaid for the ticket, they already made the money. But then the theaters didn't get a cut of those tickets. The theaters didn't have people showing up to buy popcorn and drinks or whatever. They were empty showings of that movie.
Except for you, when you're in there those 5 times.
Yeah, the 500 times that I went to see it. Anyway,
Okay,
the last
that
thing
makes
we're going to talk about
sense.
before we go, Paige is not watching it, but we're coming up on the finale of the X-Men 97.
Once again, why do you assume I'm not watching it?
Because I know you're not watching it. I'll ask you, did you watch it?
No.
See, I told you. I think we're in for a very exciting finale. I don't want to spoil anything in case people aren't caught up with it, because I know a lot of people are waiting till the season is over to watch the whole thing, and I haven't been reviewing it weekly. But Omega, are you caught up on it? Have you watched?
Oh
all the
yeah,
episodes?
absolutely.
Yeah. So I will say this again. This is probably the best, and I'm including the 90s cartoon. This is the best non-comic book X-Men stuff we've ever had in X-Men 97. I think it is, in my personal opinion.
Second, if I can show. Okay.
So I'm excited for the end of it. Don't dox yourself.
No, hold on. I don't know if y'all can
Just
see
make
that.
sure you got all your tabs closed.
I don't know if y'all can see that. Look who responded to one of my tweets.
Oh, hold on. I'll make your screen full size. Oh, the voice actor?
Yeah, because I said this is the X-Men I've been waiting for 20 years. She was like, awesome, me too. I was like, yes.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay, that was
amazing.
kind of cool.
that is cool. But
There you go.
we already know that the season 2 is ready to go. They've been in post-production for season 2. The same creative team is behind it. They want to make it a 5-season show. That was the original plan, was for it to be 5 seasons. So the storyline supposedly is mapped out, according to Bo DeMaio, for 5 seasons.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens. But people were asking me if I'm going to be reviewing it, My Adventures with Superman. I will probably do a review of the first couple episodes. But,
it looks pretty good. What's it on?
Max, HBO.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have
So,
Max.
Paige, did you ever watch the first season of My Adventures with Superman?
No, I did not.
So it's very anime. It's very it's probably more anime than any DC I've ever seen, except for the Batman Ninja.
Yeah, because I saw some I saw some clip where I think some young guy in a helicopter was running away from Supergirl or something, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the Superman's not here." It's like, well, his cousin is.
Yeah, that's the preview for the second season.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I really love that. It's really good. I still feel like we're in sort of an animation renaissance right now, like between that and Invincible and X-Men 97, and then we have that Batman Cape Crusader looks good. But the problem is, you see what they're doing with that? They're dropping the whole season at one time, which I think is a huge.
Okay.
It's great for us, but it's bad for like engagement.
I don't give a shit. I don't care about engagement. I was like, no, give me everything. Because here's my thing.
The studios should
even
care.
if it drops, even if the entire series drops that first day, I'll still watch it day by day.
Yeah,
I think
I don't like sitting there and binging and just doing one thing the whole time. Because like, if you look at my screen, I got like you saw, I have 3 monitors. I have 3 things going on at once. So it was like, no, I'll do one thing and then. Yeah,
I think with that type of stuff, like they're not full episodes, if you want to put it. So I think expecting people to wait a week for 20 minutes of content is it's I think
what is the Batman cartoon, like 20-minute episodes?
It'd be like 25 to 30. Like
Sailor's X-Men 97. It's like only
and also it's not like X-Men 97 though, where there's already like I think a lot of hype going into it before and that's on Prime, this Cape Crusader thing. So I think they've probably gone down the right option. Like I know people are going to complain, but I think in regards to actually people probably watching from beginning to end, dropping it all at once is probably the better way to go for this.
Well, I will probably binge it the weekend it drops, and then we'll talk about it on a stream or something. But for me, I liked the weekly release because then it gives me an opportunity to take a breath. Honestly, X-Men 97, if that would have dropped all at once, it would have been a disaster because I do believe that the way the episodes are designed, you need that break in between episodes. Maybe Cape Crusader isn't like that, but I kind of wish DC had that hype built around their animation because for the longest time, DC had the best animation.
DC Harley Quinn show. You never really hear people talking about it week to week.
Here's actually pretty good. I haven't seen it, but
when it initially
was hilarious.
When it initially comes out, people go, "Oh, the new season's out." By the time the finale's rolled around, no one's talking about it anymore because it's just stretched out too long. And people will probably just stop watching after 3 or 4 episodes, and they'll just catch up at the end.
Yeah.
So you got to have something that's like in a good environment. And X-Men's probably, I don't want to say X-Men's lucky. I think it's just that's just the way it was designed, and it helps that there's nothing else coming out at the moment that it can it stands out. But
season though, it'll build the hype for that second season, which
but like with Cape Crusader, like by the time, I don't know when they're coming out, but they're probably coming out around the same time. Like I know The Boys is out in a month.
Yeah,
for example, and
Omega and I will be reviewing that like we did last time. So I think a couple other people are going to jump on and we'll talk about that. Why didn't they release X-Men on Saturday mornings? I just don't think they probably looked at the market and decided that wasn't the best place.
When does it come out?
Wednesdays.
Well, also like Saturday mornings when? Like what time zone? American or you gonna go?
That's it.
Rest of the world,
Saturday morning for us is like probably mid-afternoon or completely.
I saw this too. I'm not a massive Frank Grillo fan though. He's come off as like a dick, and I just don't like.
Yeah, I saw that. Like
it is.
Was actually, I'd actually like to do like hook the world. The people that read that news up to a lie detector and go, "Yeah, do you care?"
I just don't see any. There's no interest.
People lie when they say yes.
From him for me, and I don't like to normally do that. Like I don't like to go, oh, I don't like that actor, so I don't care about the project. But I'll still watch the project. But Frank Grillo is not my.
He's not. No one's going to watch Peacemaker season 2 because Frank Grillo's in it.
Yeah,
that's the way to work.
He has a very high opinion of himself, and it comes off as cockiness. So,
what if he dies in Peacemaker season 2?
Oh my God. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm looking through my bookmark here to see if there's anything else I wanted to mention before we head out.
And by the way, people that think that they're retconning the events of the Suicide Squad. They're not going to make it that didn't happen. Like they're going to retcon certain events of that, where like Rick Flag Jr. wasn't there and it was Rick Flag Sr., but he didn't die and everything.
Did you
like
see
that.
the artist who redid the Superman suit for the James Gunn movie?
Was it the same thing of him sitting down?
Yeah, they made it more streamlined. What do you think of this?
I mean, if that was the suit, I think it'd be like the perfect suit. I mean, but like the thing is, like, if they did the suit like this, everyone would be like, "Oh, nostalgia bait" or whatever.
Yeah, people are going to complain. The original suit looks fine. I actually really do like this, but come on.
Yeah,
it's
I think this look. My biggest issue with the photo, that reveal photo, is that he's just sitting down while people are literally getting killed behind him. Like that's just.
I don't know if it's AI or not. Someone said an artist actually recreated it. This looks too perfect to be AI, in my opinion. But
it's not. It looks like it's. You can. I mean, you can. It looks like it's like someone just photoshopped it. Like, I mean, the fact that you got like on the blue wall, you can still see the reflection from like the giant eye thing that's in the sky.
Yeah. Oh, the artist's name is there on the corner of the outfit too, where the cape is.
Oh yeah,
the right corner.
Cool.
Yeah, I saw some leaked concept art, but I kind of know what the suit is going to look like anyway, based on like just general ideas of the design. I personally, being completely honest, would have preferred something more like this, because this reminds me of Superman and Lois, and I think I would have preferred this type of a suit versus the one that they're getting. But I don't dislike the one that we're getting either. I think the one we're getting is fine. So I'm not one of those people where I'm like, I hate it. This should have been it. Fuck this. Hashtag not my Superman. Like, no, I'm not. It's not what I'm getting into here. But we'll see. We'll see the actual. I'm pretty sure that James Gunn is going to give us a full look very soon. So, and then Darth says, honestly, this is what I was talking about with brighter colors. Perfect. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed is like, it's just been a thing since for like the past maybe 10, 20, 15, 20 years. A lot of movies, and even when it comes to video games, a lot of things have just been various shades of brown or green or it's like, come on, throw some color.
Going for the jugular here. Frank Grillo comes off to me as just another typical throwaway actor that mostly plays in B-level direct-to-DVD action films for the conservative Gen X boomer dads. Oh wow, just straight for the throat there with McLeod. No punches pulled whatsoever. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here. That's kind of where I'm going to wrap it up. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun talking about the profitable movies. And, we'll see where things go with some of these other projects this year. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is clearly going to be a massive success just based on the hype going into it.
Are you sure? They're underdogs.
They are. They're underdogs.
My fucking what a joke. That was the biggest joke at the stream.
But anyway. All right. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.